I arrived at Harat Ward restaurant. The first thing that welcomed me was the strong blue color on the outside. The sign had soft pink and white letters that stood out gently. It gave a modern touch but still felt warm and friendly. The tall glass doors looked clean and shiny. They gave me a full view inside before I even entered. It felt like the restaurant was inviting me in with open arms. The colors outside worked together in a simple but beautiful way. Nothing was heavy or crowded, everything looked balanced. I could see movement inside and it made the place look full of life. Families were stepping in and the energy was welcoming. The first impression was strong and comforting at the same time. It made me feel curious about what kind of food was waiting inside. And I knew that the story of Harat Ward was only just beginning for me.
Hi guys, this is Yazan. Today I will take you with me to Harat Ward, one of the Lebanese restaurants in Al Khobar city. I will be ordering several dishes from their menu and I will be sharing my honest review. No filters, no fluff. From starters to dessert, we'll be diving into the full experience. So join me today for lunch and let's discover if this place is really worth the hype. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's give it a try, guys.
I stepped inside and the outside noise stayed behind. The first thing I noticed was the warm wooden walls with neat horizontal lines. The soft hanging lights gave the space a cozy glow. The tables were simple with black plates and clean mats waiting for the food. There were little touches of artificial green plants dividing the seats, which made each corner feel private. On the wall, red brick was mixed with green leaves, giving a bright and modern look. Some tables had booth seating, which felt comfortable and welcoming. The floor was covered in patterned tiles, adding a playful detail under the soft light. It was not crowded when I arrived, so the atmosphere felt peaceful and relaxed. Everything together made the downstairs area cozy, bright, and modern, which was a perfect start for my visit. I opened the digital QR code menu, which came in both Arabic and English. It was easy to browse through. It was clear and simple on the phone screen. Every item had the price next to it, so I could see the cost without asking. But not all the items had the calories written, which could have been helpful for some customers. It gave me a nice idea of the selection, with sections for appetizers, main dishes, desserts, and drinks. Then I noticed the traditional dishes like Shish Barak, Kebab bil and Fattat Arayes, and each one showing its price clearly. There were also unique plates like eggplant kibbeh and the lamb shank with vegetables, which felt like special choices on the menu. Desserts had classics such as Ali and Kunafa, both well priced and easy to find on the list. And for drinks, the fresh juices were written with their prices, but again without calories, which I thought could make the menu stronger. Overall, the menu was modern, simple, and easy to understand. It worked well as a digital QR code, but it would have been even better if the calories were added for every item. They call this plate Sinit al-Habayib in Arabic language. The tray came with many small bowls, each one looking fresh and colorful. I started with the beetroot mutabbal, which had a bright pink color and a creamy texture. It was smooth, with a light earthy taste and a hint of lemon that lifted the flavor. Next to it was the hummus with tahini, simple but full of that nutty and rich chickpea taste. The olive oil on top made it silky, and the mint leaf gave a fresh note. The mutabbal eggplant was creamy too, with smoky eggplant flavor, pomegranate seeds, and mint on top. It had a balance of tangy and smooth, which made it very enjoyable with bread. Then came the muhammara, with its deep red color and slightly spicy nutty taste from walnuts and pepper. It felt rich but not too heavy, and it was perfect to scoop with the warm bread. The Yalanji grape leaves were stuffed neatly and placed with pomegranate seeds and lemon. They were tender, slightly sour, and refreshing, giving a nice contrast to the creamy depths. And finally, The fattoush salad was fresh and crunchy with fried bread pieces on top. The mix of lettuce, tomato, cucumber, and pomegranate made it light and zesty. All together, these cold appetizers felt like a colorful welcome to the meal. They showed freshness and balanced each dish with its own special taste. The bread on the side was warm and fluffy, which made every dip and bite even more satisfying. This is Harat Ward Mix Hot Appetizer. The tray arrived warm and full of colors. Each bowl had its own style, but they all felt like comfort food. The mix included potato coriander, cheese barak, cheese spring rolls, and fried kebab. It was a generous selection and made the table look rich. The smell of spices and the fried dough was strong and inviting. The golden balls gave everything a traditional touch. I started with the potato coriander, which was soft inside but crispy on the edges. The mix of garlic, chili, and fresh herbs gave it a lively taste. Then came the cheese barak, which had a crunchy shell outside and a creamy filling inside. It was light but full of flavor, and it paired well with the bread on the table. The spring rolls had melted cheese that stretched when I pulled them apart. They were thin and crispy, which made them fun to eat. The kebab had a darker crust, and inside there was soft spiced meat with pine nuts. Each bite felt warm and homely. The mix was balanced between heavy and light, so it did not feel too much. This plate showed how hot appetizers can be simple but still full of joy. It was a good start before moving on to the main dishes. This is the lamb shank with vegetables. It comes baked in a clay pot that is sealed with golden bread on top. The bread is sprinkled with black seeds, which makes it look rustic and inviting. Next to it, there is a plate of yellow rice shaped neatly with roasted almonds on top. The rice feels fluffy and full of aroma even before I touch it. I cut through the bread lid, and the steam rises with a rich smell of roasted lamb and warm spices. Inside, the lamb shank sits with colorful vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, and zucchini. The sauce is thick and full of flavor, covering every piece of meat and vegetable. When I pull the lamb apart, it feels soft and tender, sliding easily off the bone. I take a bite, and the meat is juicy with a deep taste from the slow cooking. The vegetables bring freshness and balance to the heaviness of lamb meat. Together with the bread, it feels hearty, rich, and traditional. The rice on the side is light but also buttery, and the almonds add a nice crunch. Eating them together gives a full, warm flavor that stays on the tongue. This dish feels traditional, made for sharing, and it's a highlight of the meal. This is Shish Barak. It's one of the most famous Levantine dishes. The bowl is filled with small meat dumplings cooked in a creamy yogurt sauce. The sauce is thick and rich with hints of garlic and dried mint. On top, there are golden almonds, fresh herbs, and a touch of olive oil. The rice on the side is cooked with thin vermicelli and topped with roasted nuts. The dumplings look soft and tender in the yogurt bath. The aroma is warm with a mix of garlic, mint, and ghee. I took a spoonful with both dumpling and yogurt together. The first taste is tangy and creamy, but also earthy with the mint. The meat inside is juicy and blends perfectly with the yogurt. Each bite feels balanced and comforting. The rice is light, fluffy, and slightly buttery. It makes a good pairing with the yogurt sauce. I tried both together and the flavor became more filling and balanced. The crunch of the almonds added texture and contrast. It feels like a home-cooked dish, but with a restaurant touch. It's heavy but also very satisfying. This plate carries history and tradition. Families across the Levant prepare it on special days. It takes time and effort to fold each dumpling by hand. That's why it's respected as a festive meal. At the restaurant, it's made with care to keep the authentic taste. It's a dish that warms the table and leaves a lasting memory. This is the cherry kebab. It arrived on a wide plate with bright colors. The sauce was deep red and full of shine. On top there was a golden bread baked with spice, and around the edges there were fresh parsley and fried bread strips. The smell was sweet and sour at the same time, which was very inviting. The kebab pieces were small and round with toasted almonds and cherries scattered over them. I lifted the bread to see the dish better, and the red color made it look so rich. Each bite of kebab was soft and juicy with a taste of cherry sweetness. The almonds gave a crunchy touch, and the fried bread made it more playful. I liked how the cherry flavor balanced the meat, so it felt light, not heavy. The mix of sour cherry and warm spices created a unique taste that stayed on the tongue. It felt festive and special, which made it stand out from other kebab dishes. And the portion size was enough for sharing, but also perfect for one person who wants a full meal. This dish showed me how Levantine food can bring fruit and meat together in harmony. Cherry kebab here was not just food, it was a colorful story on the plate. This is kebab with eggplants. Kebab is one of the most loved dishes in the Levant. It's made with bulgur, onion, and minced meat mixed with spices. Some people fry it, bake it, or even serve it raw. Here it was shaped like small balls. They were fried until golden and filled with eggplants, walnuts, garlic, and pomegranate molasses. On top came almonds and parsley, with pomegranate seeds around the plate. It looked colorful and full of life. When I used the fork, the shell was crispy outside and soft inside. The stuffing had sweet and sour flavors with a nutty touch. The sauce under it tied everything together in each bite. The parsley added the freshness, and the almonds gave a nice crunch. It felt rich, balanced, and very traditional. It's a dish that shows how kebab can carry history but still feel fresh. And it was truly satisfying to eat. They call it fattat Arayes in Arabic language. It comes in a wide bowl filled with colors and textures. The crispy bread rolls are stuffed with seasoned meat. They are arranged neatly around the edges like a crown. In the center, there is creamy yogurt poured smoothly. On top, a bright pomegranate sauce adds a deep red touch. Almonds and parsley are scattered as garnish to give life to the dish. The bread looks golden and crunchy. The yogurt feels soft and cooling against the richness of the meat. And the sauce makes the dish shine with a balance of sweet and sour. The almonds bring a nutty bite, and the parsley keeps it fresh. When I take the first spoonful, I get a mix of crisp bread and juicy meat. The yogurt melts into it and creates a smooth texture. Then comes the pomegranate sauce with its tangy sweetness. Together, everything feels balanced and layered in taste. The bread stays firm enough to carry the flavors. The yogurt reduces the heaviness of the meat, and the sauce ties it all together in every bite. It's a dish that feels both festive and homely at the same time. This is the famous dessert called Ali. It's baked in a clay pot, and the look is beautiful. On top, you see golden almonds and raisins. The creamy layer has dark caramel spots from the oven. It feels warm and comforting, like a homemade dish. The smell is sweet, with notes of milk and toasted nuts. When I took the first bite, the surface broke easily. Inside, there are pieces of pastry mixed with milk and cream. The flavor is rich but balanced. It was not too sweet. The almonds give a nice crunch, and the raisins add sweetness. Every bite feels warm and smooth, with texture from the bread. It's a heavy dessert, but it feels satisfying after a big meal. The clay pot keeps the heat inside, so each bite is still hot. This dessert is loved across the Arab countries, with roots in Egypt. Usually it's made during special times like Ramadan. For me, this Ali is creamy, nutty, and full of comfort. It's the kind of dessert that makes you slow down and enjoy. A perfect ending to the meal, and a dish that tells a story of tradition. This is the kunafa dessert. It comes to the table on a golden tray that shines with tradition. The dessert looks like a round crown with a crisp golden top. It's decorated with crushed pistachios that add color and aroma. A small cloud of cream sits proudly in the center. The surface glows as sweet syrup is poured gently over it. The syrup runs slowly and disappears into the thin threads. I took my fork and pressed into the soft, crunchy surface. The sound is light and delicate as the layers give way. I lifted the first piece and the cream floated from inside. The pistachios mixed with the cream and syrup in one bite. The taste is warm and sweet with a hint of nuttiness. The texture is crispy outside and creamy inside. Each bite carries the balance of syrup, cream, and pistachio. It feels rich but also light at the same time. The golden threads hold everything together beautifully. The pistachios give a fresh nutty finish after the sweetness. It's a dessert that feels both festive and comforting. Kunafa desserts has always been a favorite on special nights, and here it's served in a way that feels complete and elegant. This is a fresh watermelon juice. It arrives in a tall glass with a bright red color that shines in the light. The top has a gentle foam that makes it look refreshing. You can see how cold it is from the tiny drops on the glass. It feels like a perfect drink for a hot day. The look alone tells you it will be sweet and light. The aroma is soft and natural like a fresh watermelon. I took the first sip and it was full of flavor. The juice tastes pure with no heavy sugar. It carries the sweetness of ripe fruit in every sip. The texture is smooth and fresh on the tongue. It feels light and it fills you with energy. Each sip is like a small wave of summer. It clears the palate after all the food, and it balances the richness of the desserts. This juice is simple, but it feels complete. It's one of those drinks that refresh both the body and the mood, and it ends the meal on a peaceful and pleasant note. This is a glass of fresh pineapple juice. It arrives bright yellow with a soft layer of froth on top. The color feels like sunshine resting inside the glass. It already gives a hint of sweetness before the first sip. The aroma is light and tropical. It carries that sharp, sweet smell that pineapple always has. It feels refreshing just to hold it close. Then I took my first sip. The taste is sweet but balanced with gentle acidity. The texture is smooth with a natural frothy top. It cools the mouth right away and feels hydrating. Every sip is like a splash of fruit mixed with freshness. It's not heavy, and it does not leave too much sugar behind. It feels natural and uplifting, and it's the kind of a drink that can match both a light meal and a rich one. I enjoy how it clears the palate after the food. It's simple, tropical, and very refreshing, and it ends the dining experience on a bright and pleasant note. This is Turkish coffee served in the traditional way. It comes in a small black cup resting on a golden tray, which makes it feel both elegant and historic. Beside it, there is two soft pieces of Turkish delight covered with sugar. The coffee pot itself is a small hammered brass pot with a wooden handle, holding the rich dark boiled coffee. When I lift it, I notice the thick layer of foam that sits on top. The aroma is deep and earthy with a touch of spice that promises intensity. Turkish coffee is known for being strong, and it's always served unfiltered, so the grounds settle slowly at the bottom. The first sip is bold, almost smoky, and it fills the mouth with warmth. It's strong, but it's not harsh, and the foam softens the taste with a creamy finish. Then I ate a piece of Turkish delight, which melted slowly with a light sweetness. Together, the sweet bite and the bitter coffee created a perfect balance. It feels like a ritual, slow and thoughtful, inviting me to pause and enjoy. This is more than just a drink, it's a moment of culture and tradition. And it ends the meal with richness, sweetness, and a sense of peace. The price of Sinit al-Habaib is 47 Saudi Riyal. The price of Harat Ward mix hot appetizer is 57 Saudi Riyal. The price of lamb shank with vegetables is 79 Saudi Riyal. The price of Shish Barak is 41 Saudi Riyal. The price of Kebab بالكرز is 45 Saudi Riyal. The price of Fattat Arayes is 52 Saudi Riyal. The price of Ali is 25 Saudi Riyal. The price of Kunafa dessert is 19 Saudi Riyal. The price of watermelon juice is 14 Saudi Riyal. The price of pineapple juice is 18 Saudi Riyal. The price of Turkish coffee is 8 Saudi Riyal. The total plus the value added tax, which is 15%, is 441 Saudi Riyal. The food at Harat Ward restaurant was full of life. Every plate came to the table looking colorful and inviting. From the appetizers to the main dishes, the flavors felt balanced and rich. The desserts were warm and comforting, ending the meal in a very satisfying way. I really enjoyed how everything carried the taste of tradition but still felt fresh. What I would suggest for the future is adding calorie information to the menu. It will help customers who care about health needs make better choices. With this in mind, I give the food a strong 4.5 out of 5. The service was also very pleasant. The staff welcomed me kindly and served each dish with care. They were polite and always ready to help. I noticed that the food arrived on time and in good order. A little more guidance about the menu and chicken on the tables more frequently would make the experience even better. Still, I felt respected and comfortable during my visit. For that reason, I give the service 4.4 out of 5. The atmosphere is another part of the experience. From the outside, the glass front and the bold blue walls with patterns make the restaurant stand out. Inside, the design mixes modern details with traditional touches. The brass trays, warm lighting, and neat layout create a nice balance. It does get a bit lively during peak hours, but that is normal for a place that is popular. Overall, it feels inviting and enjoyable, so I give the atmosphere 4.3 out of 5. For parking, it is street parking only. This works during quiet times, but during busy hours it becomes limited and can be a little hard to find. It would be great if the restaurant offered more options in the future. As for wheelchair access, the space inside is open and not crowded, which is helpful. And the restaurant has a ramp at the entrance. And that closes my experience at Harat Ward restaurant with warm food, polite service, and a great atmosphere.
So this was my experience today at Harat Ward. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. And just remember, each bite tells a story. See you next one. Bye.